Okay, well, I'm René de Groot. I'm director of Derek Ministries France since 1996, and basically from the start off, we got requests from people in Africa asking for books, etc. And I quickly discovered that sending books was very, very expensive. So I had to come up with some sort of a means to send books to Africa in a cheap way, which we eventually did. In the beginning, we had a network of distributors in several African countries, and we didn't give the books to them because I thought to myself, if I have one donation giving books to someone, that's fine, but after that the money is finished. So I built some sort of a structure in which the different distributors in the different countries were able to buy books for a very, very low price, basically cost price, and they were allowed to sell the books with some profit, but still, being accessible for the African public. And that worked very well. We sold in that way close to 100,000 books to a lot of African countries. But after a while, it just died. The system died. I don't know why, but that's sometimes the way the Lord works. So then, together with the leadership of DPM, we came up with a different solution, which is giving free books to only Bible schools. The thought behind it was obviously, if you reach a pastor who is studying to become a pastor or is going into some sort of ministry, and you teach that guy, then after that guy can teach others. And then you have expansional impact. So, and that worked very well, and we've done that for many, many years, sending, I think close to, again, 100,000 books or something to many, many Bible schools. The thing is, we don't make any publicity for that, but still, I guess the word goes round. If you just write to this ministry and they'll give you books. So I get a couple of emails per month asking for books from Bible schools in Africa, French-speaking Africa. Most of them close to 200 students, although I've traveled extensively in Africa as well, and you should know that when they say we have 200 students, it isn't like a school and there's this big auditorium with 200 students or something. I've taught myself in Bible schools in Africa as well, and at one point it was very funny. I came there and the guy said, listen, you have to teach the same message twice per day, because in the morning people come in who don't work in the morning, and in the afternoon people come in who don't work in the afternoon, which he didn't tell me before. So I was teaching the same thing twice per day. But that's the way they work. That's Africa. So, and then not everybody shows up all the time, but that's just the way it is. But the thing is, they just don't have a lot of money, so they don't have easy access to Bible teaching. So what we provide them is just gold for them. I remember one story of a guy who said, the books that you've sent are actually black because of the many, many hands that the books have gone through. So it's not one guy reading one book. We encourage them always to share the books around and say, listen, I've read this book, you should read it too. And then the whole thing just flows. And that's what we've been doing. And the thing is that Africa being Africa, with millions and millions of Christians, who basically all are not very well instructed in the Bible, and a lot of weird things going on over there. It's just weird teachings and everything. It's just never enough. If you give me 100,000 euros or pounds or dollars there, whatever, I could easily spend on sending books to Africa. So that's basically what we've been doing and what we would like to continue doing in the near future.
If you could think of perhaps a couple of prayer requests, if you were to encourage supporters in different countries to pray for the outreach in French-speaking Africa, what would be those prayer requests?
Many. Obviously the political situation in Africa is very different. When I pray myself for Africa and for the books that we're sending out, what I always pray is that the books will enlighten people in such a way that the church in a specific country will rise up and make a difference. You know, church being assembly, being spiritual government, so that in the end, the Bible teaching that we provide not only will benefit the church, but will benefit the country as a whole. So that would be one prayer request. Another prayer request also, just plain and simple, that the books will arrive. Because again, Africa being Africa, that is not always the case. But we can just do what we can do and trust God for the rest. Just a huge, great big thank you to everyone and each one of you providing your prayers, but also your money, for those lovely African brothers and sisters who don't have that access that you have. You've probably a library full of books, and most of them you haven't even read probably, but they have one book and they read it over and over and over again because it's the only thing they have. So thank you.